Hey y'all, it's your girl, Sarah from Sarah Styles here. This is part 2 of my data series, how to look at your data to improve your sales. Part 1, we looked at where you are and where you want to be, and part 2, so there's 2 variables that we learned in the first video, and we're going to focus on one of the variables. How do we increase that variable? How do we change that variable to increase our sales? So stay tuned to learn more. Welcome to my channel. Thanks for joining. Make sure to hit the subscribe and notifications if you haven't already. This is part 2 of my 3-part data series, so definitely hit the notifications and subscribe so you get notified when part 3 comes out. You can watch part 1 before this. It'll make a little bit more sense if you watch it before, but you won't be completely lost, I don't think, if you don't watch it before. I am a reseller on the PoshMark app. I dabble a little bit in eBay, but mainly on PoshMark. And then I also have a degree in mathematics and experience in data analytics. So I kind of mold those 2 things together to help you figure out how to increase your sales, strategies that work, how to decide strategies that work for you. My whole channel is devoted to helping you find strategies that work for you. There's information everywhere. Try this strategy and this brand sells well for me, and all of that information is out there. Look on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube. It's an amazing world that we live in to have all of this information available. But what I'm going to show you, and something that I struggled with because PoshMark doesn't really give you data, was I'm trying these strategies and this person over here is like, this sells well, and then I tried it and I was like, well, I mean, how do I know, right? I have no idea if it sold well. So I created the Analytical Dashboard. I will put a link to that below if you want to purchase it and not have to worry about making these graphs and charts. If you are proficient in a data analytical tool, Excel, Google Sheets, whatever it is, then you can make these charts and analyze your data. There will be a discount code for that at the end of the video. My analytical tool is in Google Sheets. So I'm going to pull it up here on my phone. I can get it on my tablet. I can get it on my computer. I can have it everywhere that I go, which is amazing because there's oftentimes that I'm outsourcing that I will be like, oh, I don't remember how that did, or what is my average price point that I'm going for, and I will pick it up really quick. I'm going to do a quick overview of the first part of the series. We looked at where we are. PoshMark doesn't give you this information. They just give you one big total number. So we broke it down into average price point, total, and total sold. Those are going to be the 2 big variables that are going to move your total monthly sales. And we looked at how to figure out what those are. And then we also looked at a simulator on how to figure out, hit a number that you want to hit and what you need to do to get there. So now that we know those numbers, I want to break it down into the data that you need to look at to move those variables. In this video, we are going to look at your total sold. What data do you want to look at to help tell if strategies are working for you to sell more items? And so what we're going to look at, and handy dandy notes, to sell more. So some things you can do to sell more is social media. Facebook, Instagram, whatever. There's not really, unfortunately, PoshMark Sales Report doesn't give you this information on where your sales come from. So you can't really look at that, but that is something that you can do to help increase your sales. And then also marketing repeat customers. Again, PoshMark doesn't give this information in the PoshMark Sales Report, so we can't really look at that unless you were to track it externally. This purpose, we can only look at what the PoshMark Sales Report gives us. Well, first thing I'm going to show you to look at is your orders by day. And so why do you want to look at this is you can kind of start to see the trends and try different things. Are you only sharing on the weekends, and is that showing in your data? Are you making more sales on the weekends? Cool. So maybe try sharing your closet one more time every day during the week and see if that increases your sales. Or you're like, hey, something that I'm trying, my Fridays consistently are busier days. So now I'm trying to ramp up how social I am on the app on Fridays and see if that helps increase my sales. So I'm not going to tell you all these different ways to do it. Those ideas are out there, or send me a DM and we can kind of, talk back and forth. Leave notes below if you have ideas. Hey, I'm going to try this and let's see how it works, or this works great for me. I'm showing you how to look at your data and what to look at. So when you are trying these new things, you can look at your data to see if it's improving. So one thing that I like to look at is my total orders, total sales by day. And then the other thing that you can look at to sell more is bundles. People are buying 2 items instead of 1. Different strategies, and I'll link my bundle strategy above. You can try it, see if it works for you, and it's working wonders for me. But then there's people that are like, I tried it, I looked at the data, it's not really working for me. But that's why I love this tool, is they're looking at their data saying this isn't working for me, so they're not spending their time on that. They're finding strategies that work for them. Time is money, and they are finding strategies that work for them by looking at their data. So bundles, your percent of bundles, I'm going to show you a graph, your percent of bundles for the month. Look at that and then try a new bundle strategy and see if that increases. And then if it doesn't, from a data perspective, definitely do a new strategy for at least a month, and then if not 3 months, so that you can tell if it's working, because there's so much noise in there. Summer slump and back to school, so maybe some of it was from back to school. You really need to kind of normalize the data, and doing it for multiple months will kind of take out some of that noise for you to tell if these strategies are working. So there's your bundles, and then I also look at your offer to likes. These are strategies that Poshmark is giving you to see, they give you an offer to likes. You can send an offer right away, and people send them, but then you're like, does it work? I will link the video above. I do an analysis, and we did a group deep dive. If you have the data analytics tool, you get access into my Facebook group, and we do group deep dives together. And we did one on offer to likes, and the results were very interesting. It's super interesting, and I found it very helpful. So definitely watch that video. But this will tell you your offer to likes, and try a new strategy. Like I said, the strategies are out there. This video isn't to tell you the strategies that work for me. It's to tell you how to figure out what strategies work for you. Try a new strategy, and then pull in your PoshMark Sales Report and look at your offer to likes. Did your offer to likes go up? Try a new strategy for buy it now. Buy it now is going to give you the most bang for your buck, right? Because people aren't wheeling and dealing for a deal. And when you look at those two, so something you want to keep in mind, if you are getting lots more, and we'll go into this a little bit in the next video actually, if you're getting a lot more sales and that's strictly your strategy, then you're not going to care about this average price point. In the next video, we will talk about average price points and how that will kind of move as well. And like I said, you have 2 variables that are going to increase your total dollar amount that you bring home for the month: average price and total amount sold. We're focusing on your total amount sold in this video. I personally kind of do a little bit of both. So your average price point, we'll talk a little bit more in the next video. Top brands. Let me see. Oh, sorry. Oh, one more thing. Actually, I'm going to go back to your offer to likes, or your shipping discounts. So people use shipping discounts to encourage buyers. And for me personally, it doesn't work for me. I have tried to do free shipping. I did a whole month where I tried like over $50 free shipping, and it didn't do anything. So I quit doing it. But I know that it didn't do anything because I looked at my data, and my shipping data didn't change. I wasn't getting more sales from shipping discounts, so I quit doing it. But I have customers who are using my analytical tool that say free shipping is like killer for me. They tried it for a month. Their shipping discount sales increased, their total sales increased, which means that they made more money, and they were able to look at it. So what works for one person doesn't necessarily work for the other person. Top brands, you want to look at the top brands by total sold. And like I said, I do something a little bit in between to get both of those variables to move. So this, we're just talking about what to look at to increase your items. So you want to look at, these are the top 10 items by total amount of items sold. And you can look at mine, Coach, Columbia, The North Face. This is going to help you source better. And I have a video, I'll link it above as well, on how to source smarter and not harder, how to look at this data, and once you look at the data, what to do, how to use it when you're sourcing. So this is going to help you source better. Pick up these items because you know that you sell a lot of them. All brands, I'm going to skip that one for the time being. And then categories. Look at your categories. your average, your total sold by category. What categories are selling well for you? Keep in mind this is going to have a little bit of seasonality to it. The data that I'm looking at right now is an annual data, so some of that will be taken out. But like right now, or when it's winter, you're probably going to be selling a lot more jackets. So keep that in mind. But looking at this information is going to help you know what sells well for you, what market you're hitting, so that when you're sourcing, you can make better decisions and sell more of what sells well for you. Days on hand is also going to help you do that. It's going to tell, days on hand tells you from when you listed it on Poshmark, how long did it on average take to sell. Again, there'll be a little bit of seasonality in that. Winter jackets are probably going to sell quicker, right? But this also, you look at this data and you say, okay, boom, swim sells really fast for me. So I'm going to pick up swim probably more in the summer or like around the spring break type. But swim is selling in 45 days. It's selling fast. And again, this is a different strategy. And I talk a lot on my Instagram about what sells well. And these are all different things that you have to look at and consider on what sells well and on what strategy you want to do. And try the strategy, come back and look at your data, see if it works. If it doesn't work, try something else, because if you keep doing strategies that aren't working for you, it's a waste of your time. Sell-through rate, again, is going to tell you how quickly the inventory that you have, how much is it, like if you have 100 items and you sold 30 of them, what is your sell-through rate? And that's again going to help you decide what is selling quickly for you in and out the door. And that can be a strategy that you want to take. If you're trying to sell more items, things that sell fast is probably a good strategy to try. Try ways to get people to sell items fast. I'm going to point out too, if you are picking the strategy and trying to sell more items, finding ways, time is money, finding ways to be more efficient when you're listing, because you're spending the same amount of time listing as if you're increasing your average price point. So you want to find ways to list quicker if you're trying to get things in and out the door so that you can keep selling fast, right? So that's part 2. We focused on how to sell more items. What categories do you want to look at to look if you are doing these strategies, are they working to sell more items? If you sell more items, but your average price point is the same, you will make more money. So next time we're going to look at your average price point. What do we want to look at to increase that average price point to increase our sales overall? So have a good day. Give me a big old thumbs up if you like this. Leave a note below on what you like to look at in your data, what works well for you. This is a community. Let's all share. Make sure to give thumbs ups and join and subscribe so you get notified when my next video comes out. Have a good day.